Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
On your mark.
Jalapeno, 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 jalapeno.
I will not die easily. I am a warrior.
Brave warrior. Then fight for nothing.
I will not die easily. I am a warrior.
Brave warrior. Then fight for nothing.
Hello there, happy Monday to everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. Following the zombies that we were working on Friday, which is our derail day. Obviously today we are back to working on the main project, which is Homeward Hound. And if we look at the screen very closely, if you look very closely, you might be able to see the back of a dog. There we go, there he is. Okay. So this is our player, as we'll remember, the Beagle. This is the Rottweiler in the left pane that we've been working on and getting him to walk around. So we just hit play on here. We should be able to see if he paces around the cage and changes direction when he reaches the edge. Possibly. There he goes. I was forgetting not to set up a key press to get it done. There he goes. Just wandering around. And he just turns around randomly and just goes in a different direction, so it should look different every time. What we need to do this stream is when he goes close to the food bowl, we're going to have him eating. When we're going to go close to the water bowl, we'll have him drinking. I'm not sure if we've got different animations for that. We'll have to look. And possibly, if we have the animation for it, a jump up on the fence once in a while. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. And then also, if we have time today, I want to start using the cage asset that we bought, the smaller cage, for the interior of the dog shelter, dog pound, and start building that up and getting some animals in there. So that's the agenda for today. Right, last I saw was collision volumes for the Rottweiler. Okay, yeah, so first of all we had the main collider. So if we look back at the Rottweiler, we had the main collider, which is this sphere, and that detected when the player gets close to the dog, and then when the player does get close to the dog stops doing what it's doing and turns to face the player. And then last stream, or the last dog stream, which I believe was Wednesday last week, we added an additional collider, which is not the capsule collider. It is the capsule collider, not the sphere collider. And the capsule collider detected when the NPC dog reached the edge of the cage or bumped into anything. So we got that working last time. Alrighty, so what we can do, we're going to have to leave the cage in place really, because he's going to have to walk around and then eventually get to the bowls. So we have the water bowl and the food bowl. And if we look at those objects, I don't think we have colliders currently. No, we don't. So we're going to have to, number one, put a collider on so we can detect when we're close to it. Number two, we're going to have to add a tag to it so that when the dog gets there, it knows what it's bumped into, whether it's the food or whether it's the water. So, easy thing to do first is add the tags.
Drink water.
Yes, I don't have a hydrate redeem. Thank you, Dukasoft, and welcome in. Apparently I missed you in chat earlier. Who let the baby out? Woof woof. And one of my favourite emotes. Fun part is trying to see if you can keep your head in time with his. I think I'm doing a pretty good job there. Okay, so hello Dukasoft, welcome in. Thank you for having everybody's favourite TikTok voiceover, Jessie, tell me to drink water. I do have flavoured water here. I also have a hot cup of coffee, so I'll be drinking that too. Okie dokie, so we're going to do some tags. We're going to have a tag for the food and a tag for the water. So what we will do, are we going to have any other bowls with food or water in the game? Okay, so I have to think about what these tags can be because we're going to be referencing them in code. So we're going to have dog, food, bowl and dog water bowl. That seems like they would be sensible tags. Dog food bowl and dog water bowl. Okay, so now we have those tags, we need to tag the objects with the new tags. Oh, we just had a new refresh on the streams I follow at the top. Coffee makes stuff. Does anybody want coffee? Actually, I don't want coffee because I already have it, but thank you. Okay, so let's go and find the dog water, which is this. So we have dog bowl, we have bowl 1 water and bowl 1 food 2, because that's easy to remember. So I'll change the tag on the dog water bowl to be dog water bowl, and on the dog food bowl to be, I think you guessed it, dog food bowl. Okay, now we have the correct tags. Now we need to add colliders, and we need to add colliders not to the size of the object. We don't want the dog to have to pretty much trip over the bowl before it registers that he's there. So this might be a bit of trial and error. So we'll add a collider, we'll scale it, and then we'll have the NPC dog walk up to it and see if he's the right distance to go into his eating animation. Okay. I did make an update to the streams I follow on the side, where now I have buttons on my stream deck. So if we get something come up which is a dead feed, or if there's any issues with the feed that it finds, I can just press a button on my stream deck to refresh either the top or the bottom feed. So say for example, Soul Tunes is good on the bottom, but there's not really much going on at the moment, so I can just do refresh bottom feed, and there it goes. And then in about 15 seconds, give or take, yes, bowl 2. I think the asset that the bowls came from has different versions. So like for the food bowl, I think there's different levels of food in the bowls. I think that's why it has a number after it. Okay, so now we switched from Soul Tunes to Codex here, and I guess we have hit an ad break. Okay, and also if you didn't spot it, at the top of the window we now have a tip my mods with pally.gg. So I'll go ahead and put the pally command in chat. How about those mods, eh? Yeah, if you want to send a coin or two to the mods, just the mods, it doesn't include me, so if you want to send anything to my 3 lovely mods, then go ahead and click that link and it will show you they share all of the tips, and I get a big fat 0 because, you know, I'm just nice like that. So yeah, you can do cheers and bits and subs and all that good stuff, but that doesn't really reward the mods. So now we have something in place to give a little bit of thanks back to the mods. Okay, so let's put a collider on this bowl, and it needs to be a trigger collider because we don't need the player to bump into it when he gets there. Dukasoft hyping it up for the tips. Show me the money! Actually, while I think about it, I did have another idea. I know, steady on. In that, with the drop game message, if you score 99 or more, you get to have either a free sub, you can gift a sub, or what I thought would be a nice touch is donating $5 to the Pally Fund for the mods. So let me just update this message. So the message will say, score 99 plus in the drop game to get yourself a free sub to the channel, or if you're able to, you can gift it, or Lee will donate $5 to the Pally Mod Fund. Hello there, Blunt. How are you done diddling?
Happy New Year!
Thank you for supporting the redemption today. I appreciate that. Hugin with the Happy New Year. Hugin loves that redemption and wishes me a Happy New Year every time he comes on stream. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Hugin, and good to see you. No chew today. We're talking about the mods. We're giving some money back to the mods. One lion. One lion. Mustn't forget that extra one. One lion. How are you? I did see that you went live today. Unfortunately, I was in headless chicken mode, so I didn't manage to get to the stream, but welcome in. Good to see you. Mr. Lion, as Dukasoft says. Okay, so now the message should
Basically, what you're trying to say is that you can't control it.
I'm not trying to say that the whole bloody ship is.
It's the wild colour scheme that freaks me. I mean, when you try and operate one of these weird black controls which are labelled in black on a black background, a small black light lights up black to let you know you've done it. What is this? Some kind of intergalactic hyper...
That sound can only mean one thing. And I don't mean Hakuna Matata. I'm talking about the sound alert before that, which means the one and only Tubby Crumbles, aka Chris, is in the house. Welcome in, Tubby. Good to see you. Alright, let me just see if I can test this trigger, see if we get the new message in chat. Yes, so score 99 plus in the drop game to get yourself a free sub to the channel, or if you are already subscribing, you can gift it, or Lee, I think that's me, will donate $5 to the Pally Mod Fund, as you can see at the top of the chat. Not top of the chat, top of the stream window. Okay. So on that note, we are going to add a trigger collider to the bowls. I would suggest a sphere collider, might be the best thing, because we don't know which side of the bowl the NPC dog will approach from, and we need to trigger the animation at the same point every time, so to me seems like it would be the best collider to use. So on dog food bowl, we're going to add component, possibly if Unity likes me today. Here we go, and we're going to add a sphere collider, and it will be a trigger. So what we can do is to test this. There's my player at the top. Okay, we'll open Visual Studio. We'll look in the code, see what's going on. Hope your day is going well, Tubby. Mondays are my busiest day. Usually running around like a headless chicken doing something or other. So it's the same for many people's Mondays. Okay. So what we need to do is the cage dog script. There's a script we want. Show code. I've got to find a way around this OBS not behaving. So I have an object called Visual Studio. When I do show code, it switches to that object. But more often than not, if I've closed it out and reopened it, it should find it again, because I have window match priority set to match title, otherwise find window of same type. Maybe we need find window of same executable. Let me try that. Maybe that'll do it. Okay. There we go. I might have just solved that problem. Hello, Porky. Good to see you. Right, now I want a bacon sandwich. Thanks, Stukasoft. Great. Porky is still here, yes. I see no reason to make him go back to the farm, because I'm not going to tell you what they wanted to do to him, but he's much happier popping out of my head sometimes, so... We're running a bit slow today. Let's have a look what my PC's doing. Clearly doing something that's slowing stuff down. System interrupts, 99.5%. Well, that tells me a lot. Thanks, Windows. 100% CPU, that's bad, right? You shouldn't have 100% of your CPU time taken up. Alright, we will continue. Not sure if there's anything at the moment I can close out that would help with that. Nope, we're just going to plod on. Alright, so in the code, we are going to Take this one. Put comment in here. Food collider breached. I need to put something in here to make sure that we need to check like we do with this one. So we need to check what's going on, and it's the player collided. The NPC collided with the player. This time it's going to be the NPC collided with the food. So weather.name. I'm not going to use the name, we're going to use a tag. So compare tag, and the tag is going to be dog food bowl, I think we called it. And we're going to take that debug statement there, put it in there, save that, show Unity. Let Unity do its thing, recompile, and then we'll give it a test. Well, let's have a look at the collider first, because I don't remember if we made the collider big enough. So there's the food bowl. Nope, need to increase the size of the collider. So radius. Let's make it that size for testing. Hugin turning on the lights. Thank you. Now we can see what we're doing. Little twinkly lights on stream now. Alrighty, so we'll go with 0.25 because I like my roundish numbers, and we'll hit play. In fact, we're going to make it even bigger than that for extreme testing because we don't want the dog to have to walk around the cage for 10 minutes before he triggers it. Smaller.
Wanted, Bit.ly the Kid. $100,000 reward for his capture.
Excuse me, Mr. Balint, Mr. Partner Science Streamer. I don't know what you think you're doing, but you're not helping me see what I'm doing. Because now, I can't wear glasses because babies don't wear glasses. And so now everything is...
I thought I told you to turn that thing off! It is too late and it's too loud!
Okay, so now...
Happy New Year!
A few moments later.
Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Because if you're happy, I'm happy. You don't need to see me, you don't need to hear me, just turn me down, just disconnect the stream, I can take a hint. Okay, alright then. Why is most of the
Oh no,
chaos...
Bit.ly the Kid escaped. No reward for you.
See, that's karma, Balint. You come in here causing chaos and you won't get 100,000 smackaroonies, so there's that. Hattie's still thinking, yes. So someone must have done the fake disconnect hat redemption, and it's still going. Anyhow, bizarrely, it seems like my computer might have speeded up a bit after that. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so we're going to try Unity now, And we're going to see if when the Rottweiler breaches this collider, if we get a nice little message. Oh, hang on. I have an error in the code. What did I forget? Oh, I've got a closing parenthesis. Alrighty, thank you for that heads up, Unity. Okay, let's try again for even more speed. No, let's not try again. No, that's not a good way to increase performance by running a whole bunch of stuff. No. But thank you for the suggestion, Dukesoft. Always looking for ways to improve the stream. Okay, so in a hop, skip and a jump, Unity's going to be ready to roll. Here we go. So let's see if we get a nice little message. In the console. Let's clear out the console. Let's start the dog walking. The NPC dog, go. Let's see if we get a message when he breaches that collider, which I'm sure he will any moment. Here we go. Ting! Food collider breached. There it is.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
And don't call me Shirley. Okay. So that works. So now what we need to do, we'll leave the collider huge like that at the moment, because we need to decide how close to the bowl the dog needs to be before we launch him into his food eating animation. So let's go back to the Rottweiler. And look for the animator. Find the animator controller. Open it up here. Let's see what we've got. So we have the dog being idle, and the dog walking, going back to idle. We have the dog turning. Here we have the dog eating, apparently. So if we click here, go to the project, and this is the animation. We drag this up. Let's have a look what the eating animation looks like. And go. I feel like we should have 2 more animations. One where he goes from his normal state.
Did you hear the news? FedEx and UPS are merging. They're going to go by the name Fed Up from now on.
Fed up. Thank you, Dukesoft. Definitely deserved the badumts. Alright, so I think we need another 2 animations. There should be the dog going from the normal state into this, because this is kind of eating, which is great, but he's not just going to go from standing up straight to this eating animation. So let's have a shufty. Oh, look! Speaking of booze, it's the booze hound himself, Terrier Darts. Not really. He's not really an alcoholic. He's a good friend of mine, TD, and welcome on in, TD. Good to see you. That other code that you sent me, I haven't had a chance to test yet, but it's working for now with the code that I did have, and so I'm probably going to test that either later today or tomorrow. Booze Hound. There you go. Booze Hound. Anything dog related. Nerdwino, my fave moon person. Welcome in. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Nice. There's only a few people in the chat who will know what that's from. I'm guessing Nerdwino is one of them, and Terrier Darts is the other one. Is it Larry Grayson though? Might need a second guess there, Nerdwino. Sounds like Boosie, but it's not Boosie. Alright, so we have dog drinking and dog eating. I'm really hoping that we have animations that go into those animations. Which, given that these dog models came from Red Deer and he usually throws in a bunch of animations, I think we have them in here somewhere. There we go. Bruce, what's his name? Yes, Brucey Bonus, or as he went by, Bruce Forsyth. Very good. See? Teamwork made the dream work. Bruce Forsyth. Bless his soul. Okay. So let's change this from being stuff we can't read to being stuff we can. There we go. And let's have a scroll down. Okay. So I've got eat, drink, end, eat, drink, start. These are the ones I was looking for. We need those as well, because we can't just have the dog, like I say, launch from his standing position to suddenly being down at the bowl and eating or drinking. And it looks like we've got drink loop. Okay, so we've got drink loop and eat loop. So we do have separate animations for both. So we do need to name the bowls differently. Okay, so firstly we're working on dog eat loop, but we don't just want the dog to eat. We want the eat, drink, start animation, and then the eat, drink, end animation. Knowing stuff like that is just a symptom of being British. Yes, you're not wrong. I mean, I don't know. I think being British, being of a certain age, because I don't think that, you know, there's a lot of memes going around with Brucey Bonus on at the moment. Yeah. Larry Grayson, did he do the Generation game before Brucey? Is that where this is going? I don't really remember him too much. I remember him, he was quite, what's the term, flamboyant. But I don't know, you know me, TD. If I want to call you old, I'll call you old. If I want to call you a moany Yorkshireman, I'll call you a moany Yorkshireman. I don't really imply things. That's not how I work. He did when I were a lad. Okay. Because I don't think that my parents used to watch the Generation game until I was older, so I think I only really knew Brucey as the presenter. And then of course he went on to Play Your Cards Right. Didn't he do that? Was the Generation game that thing with the conveyor belt where you're supposed to remember all the things that come by? That was funny. I only vaguely remember it. Bit gamey called me Stinky. I mean, I didn't, but if I did, that would be because I thought you were stinky, because again, I don't really imply things, I just say them. So yeah, yep, exactly. See, it's not just me calling you it, Berlin, it's Nerdwino as well, apparently. Okay, so when we activate the trigger or activate the collider for the dog food bowl, we then want to run this. Might be interesting, it might be a challenge. Are we going to have the dog eat for the same amount of time every time? I think it might be nice to randomize that, right? Because if we want to make this as realistic as possible, dogs don't really go up and eat for 2 seconds then walk away, do they? So let's have some randomization in this. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take the dog from the idle position and have a transition, and from the walking position and have a transition. And then if we look at the parameters, we have is turning. Well, for some reason we have 2 is turnings. I don't know how that works. Oh, okay. Never mind. When you have the window closed, you don't see the whole of the variable. Look. That makes more sense. He's turning left, he's turning right. Thanks, nerd. I mean that too. My goodness. Okay, so we have is idle, is turning left, is turning right. No prizes for guessing what I'm going to use as the parameter. or if the dog is eating. What should we have? We just want a trigger, really, don't we? Is eating.
Wanted, Bit.ly the kid. $100,000 reward for his capture.
Again? Nerduino this time. Nerduino fancies his luck at winning $100,000. And do you know what Nerduino would do if he won $100,000? He would probably go to adafruit.com and spend $50,000 on electronic stuff, and then he would go to beesrus.com and buy a lot more bees because he has beehives. And maybe one day he's going to have it so you can see bees again on his stream, because he had some bees, but they flew away. We don't talk about that. They might come back one day. Okay, so I'm going to do a fancy pants shout out for Nerduino, because that's pretty much all I can see at the moment. So, no, I can't do that. It says I have to wait. Apparently, somebody beat me to it 8 minutes ago. So, thank you, mods, for being on top of things. Nerduino is in fact a former NASA scientist. That means while you're sitting around on July the 4th, on November the 5th, and playing with rockets, he used to be around actual rockets, and rocket scientists and stuff. All those clever people.
Oh no,
Oh my goodness.
Bit.ly the kid escaped. No reward for you.
2 for 2. No reward for you, Nerduino. I'm sorry. You'll have to put your shopping spree on hold. Fudge indeed. Fudge is probably all you can buy now without that 100,000. So go and treat yourself to some nice chewy fudge. Those bees will have to get purchased another day. Okay, so we're going to go from either the walking or the idle state into the eat, drink, start animation. It's going to be triggered by this is eating parameter we created. So on this transition, we need to put a condition of if is eating gets triggered, and also on this one, if is eating gets triggered. Somebody say Porky. Hello? Oh, there he is. Hello, Porky. Good to see you. On sitting on my crown, apparently. Okay. Oh, and we're going to go for hog as well. Okay. Thank you, Berlin. Much Porky Pigs on this stream. All right. So we've got the transitions in place. We've got the triggers in place. So this one here, this animation, this one, this should see the dog crouch down as if he's about to eat or drink. There he goes. I mean, that just looks a bit odd. You wouldn't have a repeating animation like that. Loop is not set on, so that's good. So once he crouches down, then the next logical step is to transition into him doing the normal eating. And this is one that we do want to loop. So if we look for this, look for this one, it's already set on to loop, so that's good. And then, oh yeah, we said about having a random time, didn't we? So this won't work. We can still use the name, but we need to enable and disable this rather than just trigger it. So for triggering would be something like if you had a game where the player had a sword and you just want to trigger it and go, okay, time to do the sword animation, and then he just does a slash. And if we were just going to run through these 3 animations, the start, loop, end, then we could also use it. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of a pause in the middle so that when he's eating, we're going to loop that animation for a while, and that amount of time will change. And so we want to say, okay, is eating is true. So he goes to the start and then the loop, and then he carries on with the loop, looping, wasn't he, in Harry Potter? And then we can also from code set it to exit when is eating is false. So instead of having a trigger up here, well, it's not going to let me delete it because it's saying we're already using it. Parameter does not exist. Oh, it still let us delete it. It just said there's a problem. All right, so now instead of creating it as a trigger, we're going to create it as a bool or a boolean. So we'll say bool, we'll call it the same name, and now we can just enable or disable it as needed. So we will go, can we select multiple transitions? I think we can. So we're going to say is eating, if is eating is true, then it goes down to start it, and then no condition on here. After it started it, it goes on to the loop, and then the transition we make to finishing it and going back to idle again. Try and space this out so it's easier to follow. Okay, so dog eat start. If his eating is true, so he starts, and then he goes on to the loop, but he doesn't exit from that animation until his idle is false. And then when it's false, when we want him to stop eating, it'll go to, okay, I'm going to stand up again, and I'm going to go back to idle again. Okay, so in theory, this should work just fine. Okay, who do we have on the stream at the moment? Honest Dan Games and Reggie Howard Art. Okay. All right, so now we need to show the code. We can clear these errors because that was because we were messing around with the triggers and the booleans. Show code. Okay, and now in the code, what we need to say is, okay, what happens when we breach the food collider? So we come down here, we can see where we set booleans before. Just copy that, come up here, and this one is called is eating. In fact, what we'll do is we'll do like we did just beneath this code where it says player, where we have a coroutine, because we're going to have a variable. Actually, can we do this differently? Okay, let's do this. Try this differently first. Let's try plan B before plan A, if that's possible. So I'm going to say is eating is true because we want him to start eating. And then we're going to say invoke, we're going to call another method called stop eating. And we need to say how long we're going to leave it. So let's have a meeting for, just for testing purposes, 5 seconds. So is eating, 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 and then after 5 seconds we'll call stop eating, which we're going to put just down here so we can test it. Private void and the method is called stop eating. And what do we do to stop him eating? We need to set is eating to false. Okay, so we're going to give this a test. We're going to see what happens when the dog gets to the bowl. Now bear in mind that he's probably going to be too far away from the bowl at the moment, so he should launch into the animation 5 seconds and then stop. And we also haven't put anything in place to handle any other collider instances or situations, like if he's already inside the collider or if he's exiting the collider. At the moment we have nothing set that should cause any problems, but that doesn't mean no problems will occur. So I'll save this, show Unity. Okay, back in Unity, once it finishes recompiling, we can click on the scene view and watch what happens. Once Unity finishes compiling, maybe, possibly, potentially.
Unity is loading. Please wait.
I know, I need to figure that into the merch somewhere, don't I? I'm doing a revamp on the merch store. I think definitely something about waiting for Unity. Alright, so here he is, and there is the food bowl with the collider. Let's see what happens. Play, play, play. Off he goes, turns. Oh, well, somehow he triggered that too early. Did you see that? It launched into his eating animation. Why? There he goes. Ah, okay. So what happens when he does his animation and he's eating is we need to stop him moving. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Now, where did we do that elsewhere in here? We did it with key presses initially, didn't we? Yeah, so we need to set his idle to false. Trigger the walking cycle. That's when he goes back into it. Okay, so this is where we check to whether the dog should move or not. So we're saying if the boolean is idle is false. So we also need to add another condition up here. Or so we're saying if the dog is idle, or if the dog is eating, then don't move him. Okay. Oh, and I realised you just didn't see that. Show code. Okay, so this is the code where we move the dog. Let's take this out. And what we said originally was, if the dog is idle, in his idle animation, then don't move him. But we also want to say, if the dog is eating, then don't move him. Hang on a minute. If the dog is idle is false, then move him. We want the dog is eating is also false, then move him. Okay. Alright. Show Unity. I think I'm going to shrink this collider down a little. Show. Okay, you did hear me. You're just being slow. Yeah, I'm going to reduce the radius of this collider on the food bowl just a little. Let's try that. Okay.
Show browser, please.
I'm glad there's not a voice command for that. The browser history. Alright, here he goes. He's on the move. No, look. What are you doing? Why are you launching into it straight away? So in order that we can find out why he's launching into it straight away. See, until is eating is true, He shouldn't be going into the dip animation. Oh, is he going into it from this transition? No. If his eating is true, then do that. If his eating is true, then do that. So let's hit play and then pause it and watch what's happening with the animations. Well, his eating is lighting up for some reason. So we need to find out why. Show code. So what sets is eating to true? Down here. So if it triggers, okay. If there's a trigger collider and it finds the tag to be dog food bowl, then it sets it to true, but that's the only place in the code. So for some reason it thinks we're colliding with the dog bowl. So let's try show unity. Let's move him further away from the dog bowl to start with, just to make sure he's not anywhere near the collider. Let's try that again. I think I know what's happening. I think it's using the larger trigger collider, because if we show code, we put all the detection in the on trigger, and this is for the sphere collider, which is not what we want. We're going to take it out of there and we're going to put it into the on collision enter up here. So we want to say collision game object. It's food bowl. All right, let's try now. Show unity. All right, compile. Hit play. Start the dog moving. There he goes. Walk, walk, walk. Walking up to the bowl, and no, hasn't triggered it yet. Oh, there he goes. No, he's not triggering it at all. So what we probably have to do at this point, just because we have both types of triggers on the dog, is not set that sphere collider as a trigger. Let's see if it works with that. Oh, so close to eating. So I can see a potential problem with this before he starts to eat, is that we need to make him look at the bowl. There he goes. Ah, interesting. So food collider breached, he touched it, he went into his eating animation, but also carried on moving. Show code. So we're saying move him not eating. Okay, let's take these walking and not walkings off now. We just need, that was when we were testing him outside of the cage. I'll just comment this out for now. And then we need to take this, put it in start, so he automatically walks. So the question is, why does it not think he's eating? Show Unity. So we need really, let's put the animator over here into that window. Then we'll zoom this out. And we'll hit play and we'll see what's going on with the animator and the dog at the same time. So we'll pause that, switch to the animator. At the moment, so he goes into his walk cycle. There's the food bowl with a collider. Now once we have this working, we're going to have to trigger it every so often. We don't want him to eat food every time he goes next to the bowl, because that's not realistic either. Okay, is he about to breach it? Maybe? Possibly? Or is he just going to miss it? Let's have a look. Okay, food collider breached. So now food collider is breached. Flip over to the animator. Does it have an exit time? We still have exit time on, which we need to change. So let's do that first. As soon as he breaches the collider, he needs to go into the animation. We don't need an exit time, or it's going to keep playing the animation until it gets to the end of the cycle. Okay, so that's one of the issues. Okay, collider breached, so it's already starting to head towards the dog eat and drink animation. So he launches into that, dips his head down, start, but he's still moving. His eating is still checked, so that's still valid. But it's still moving him, even though he is. Show code. Should I have this logic right? Surely. If cage dog get ball is idle equals false. So if the dog is not idle, then move. Or if is eating equals false, then move. It just doesn't like this or operator. Right, if we separate this out, just going to do some horrible code just for testing. So we're doing a double check really instead of a single line check, but let's see if this works. I'm going to have to do some moving around of code. It doesn't work, and for some reason the code is not detecting when that boolean is set in the animator. It'll be a whole other can of worms. Some dogs do that, I guess, grab and go eat on another corner. Yeah, I think if we try and get it working first, then we can look at other things. No, he's not even moving. Okay then. I realise you're still looking at the code. Hang on, is idle is true. We're setting at the start, that's why we need to set it false. Alright, show Unity. Dum 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 dum. Play. Off you go, puppy. Walk, walk, walk. Okay, I guess that wasn't close enough to trigger it. Okay, so I've got a bit of looping there, but it did actually stop him. So, show code. Alright, let me just run and grab another drink. I'll be right back. Alright, that's enough Ya Kung Fu. I think what's happening with the code is we're using the wrong operator. I think we're using or when we should have been using and. So, what we should be able to do is drag this back up here and say and instead of or. So, if the dog isn't idle and the dog isn't eating, then he can move. So both of those conditions being met instead of one of those conditions. Okay, so what we should see now, show Unity. Should see same kind of thing as we were having before. What's this? The modifier private is not valid. What? If cage dog is false, cage dog. Okay, still have an extra spoily bracket left over. I'll see what happened there. Alright, save the code. Back into Unity. See Irish John Games up there. Let's do him give him a quick shout out. Irish John, of course, one of the mods here, and we have Pally that we've signed up with now. So if you put exclamation mark Pally in chat, if you want to see how you can actually toss a coin to the mods, not to the Witcher. Shout out to Mr. Jern. Wow, you followed Jern. I know, hard to believe, given that he's a mod here and I'm a mod there. I know, it's uncanny. Dukasoft, wait. Does that sound familiar? A mod here and a mod there. Anyway, Irish John Games, as most if not all of you know, is working on Rise of Piracy and has been doing for 4+ years. And it is on Steam. He is being published by Microprose and deserves all the good things. So drop him a follow, get him his game on your Steam wishlist. And as you can see right there, he is streaming right now. So I'm not saying you have to close this tab, because that would be a bit silly, but definitely have him open in another tab. See what's going on. Alrighty. So what we can do now is we can hit play and we can see if Mr. Rotty is going to behave. We'll see if he gets close enough to the bowl. We'll see if 5 seconds is a good point to stop him eating. It's a test. And we also need to, I'll never think until I hit play, we need to have him look at the bowl. That would have been a good test for the water bowl, but we're not doing that yet. He's adamant he's not going to eat right now. Is he on hunger strike? Or is he just winding me up? Go on, this time you got it. Get it. There it is. Well, I gotta say, it's closer, but it's not perfect, is it? Okay. The good thing is, in the console, we did notice that Food Collider was breached only once. So whatever it's trying to do, it's not trying to keep repeating doing it because of the collider. So that's a good start. My question is, why is he still moving at all once he launches into his animation? He should be stopped in his tracks. Nothing. Let me show code. And then in here, we did actually have a lookout, didn't we? I think we had 2 lookouts. They both do dynamic lookouts. Okay. Well, we can keep using that since we have do tween in here anyway. Close that out. So what we need to do is, once there is detection and detected the food bowl, we want him to turn around and face the food bowl. So that's going to be collision. Transform, not position. And we don't want to take a whole second to turn to the bowl. It wants to be more like a quarter of a second maybe. Save that. So what we really need is, we're saying is eating true, and he keeps eating. Everything keeps on moving. We're now not actually moving him because of this code. But it's going to start him moving again. This could be interesting. So he goes into his eating animation. Eating. And then after 5 seconds we go to stop eating. Stop eating kicks in here and says is eating is false. Is eating is false then means it goes back to him standing up, but also when it's playing the standing up animation, it's already set him not eating, and that's what we're using as the trigger to whether he moves. Don't forget to hydrate. Oh, thank you, Chewy. Yeah. Cheers. Okay, so this is an interesting one because we're using show unity. So what's happening is we're using this value here, this variable is eating, to determine whether the player moves or not. So when he goes up to the food bowl and he triggers it, we say, okay, we're going to go down this transition line here, or if he's walking, this one here. Vic, how are you? Hope your Monday is treating you well. Good to see you. So when he triggers that he's going to eat, we say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to come down this line and we're going to stop him moving, and he's going to start eating, and he's going to keep eating and eating and eating. And then when he's finished eating after the 5 seconds, we then say, okay, we're going to go back to the finish eating animation, back to idle again. But at this point, we're also saying, okay, he's not eating anymore, we can start moving him. And so he starts moving before he's actually stood back up and gone back into his other animation. So there's 2 ways we can fix this. One is a bit janky, one should work a bit better. So the janky way is to use an alternative variable that we don't actually set until the player is back to his idle state again. Probably the better way of handling it would be to use an animation event, so that when we get to the end of the dog eating animation, So if you imagine it plays along this blue line here, it goes, okay, standing back up, standing back up, standing back up. When it gets to here, then we do the running the method to say we've stopped eating. I don't know. There's not a clear-cut, easy way to fix this. You're good. Glad to hear it, Vic. Always good to see you. Okay, so I think we're going to need a different variable either way, because one variable in the animator we're going to need to say, okay, we've finished, start going back to not eating, but then we need a second variable that says, okay, now we can start moving again. Something like not eating can move. Show code. So if we have a private bool not eating can move, and that initially needs to be set to true, and then we're going to use this variable instead of the Boolean parameter from the animator. So down here, instead of saying this is the condition we're going to use to say we can move, instead want to say if not eating can move. Okay, so then not eating can move. We need to what about eating can move equals true. So when we detect it initially, we're going to say is eating is true, not eating can move equals false. And then after 5 seconds we'll say okay, we can move. Yeah, so really this needs to be a coroutine instead of a method. So a numerator, stop eating, and in here we're going to have a yield return new wait 4 seconds, and that'll be as long as the animation takes to finish, which we'll say 1 second. Try that. And so instead of using invoke, we are going to start coroutine. Okay, so instead of calling a method, we are going to call a coroutine. So I'm going to have stop eating. Also, we need a 5 second delay at the start of it, because that's how long we were delaying the method call with the invoke. So we need 5 seconds when we initially go into here, and then we need to say, okay, we've finished eating, run the animation to stop eating, and then we can say, all right, time to start moving again. My ears, hopefully I'll get them back quick. Someone else is borrowing them. Okay, well I hope you get your ears back soon, One Lion. Good luck. Okay, so let's test this and let's see how this works. See if it gives us a bit more of an accurate end of feeding transition. So now once he does feed, he should look at the bowl. We also need to consider if he's close enough to the bowl, And then we need to see if he doesn't start moving again until he's stood back upright. Show Unity. And go. Show us what you've got, Mr. Rutty. Do 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 do. Is he going to do it straight away? No. Oh, that's quite the turn, wasn't it? No. Just missed it. Do 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 do. There we go. Well, hello. Why is he still rotate? What? I don't get that. Stands up, starts walking, and goes back down to what? What? Working as designed. Dogs are unpredictable. Don't work with animals and dogs, they say, right? Now I don't even know why. Look, he's floating in the air now. We've got a levitating dog for this. What a great job. Okay, well, part of the issue with him being pushed into the air is because we switched the collider on the bowl to be a non-trigger collider, so anything can actually bump into it. So I'm guessing he bumps into it and then he goes up in the air and then just carries on walking around. Which begs the question, are we using gravity on his rigid body? We're not. So maybe if we enable that, that might give us a bit more of a realistic look. Let's have a look. Dropping through the floor, that's not good either. There he goes. Eat, eat, eat. Check the animator. Okay, so he's busy eating. Then goes into his finished eating. Goes back to his idle. Doing his walk animation. For some reason goes back into his eating again, which I'm sure is probably... I think we need to enable and disable these colliders. Because I think if we start it again, and then as soon as he starts eating, we'll disable the collider on the bowl, on the food bowl. See what difference that makes. I think that's what's causing the problem. I'm almost certain of it. Okay, so show code. Alright, so in the code, when we breach the food bowl, I'm going to say the first thing that we do after the debug message is we're going to say collision dot game object dot get component, and the component is going to be the collider, which would be a sphere collider. Dot enabled equals false. Okay, so we're going to disable the collider and let's see what that does. Show Unity. Okay, so we'll hit play. And what we should see this time, if we keep the food bowl highlighted, is this sphere collider. This should get unchecked. When he touches the bowl, everything else should still work the same. Well, that's different. This is turning into horror movie territory now. What the? It's not quite what I had planned for the behaviour. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to go with the rigid body not having gravity again. Let's. Now we're disabling the collider. That shouldn't matter. So if we go back here and turn off gravity. And let's try it again. See if we don't have some freaky floating horror dog now. There he goes. Eat, 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 eat. Back up. No, he's going down for a second dose. Why? Why does he go back? Alright. So we'll give it a try this time. And this time we'll pause it and see what's going on with the animator. Who's going to breach it then? Oh goodness. They said this was going to be easy, did they? Good, because they'd have been wrong. Okay, so it's going to breach that collider. Food collider breached. Sphere collider itself gets disabled, which is what we wanted. It's already started on the animation for dipping down to eat. There he goes, dipping down his head. Is eating is checked. Goes through the start. Goes through the chomp chomp. So it's like when he finishes eating, we're not resetting the is eating. Because he goes back into it again. Okay. Okay, so let's just double check what steps we have in here. Oh, we just got a shout out from RS John Games, which means it should reset the top stream to be him, if I'm not mistaken. Yay, Jern indeed. And there we go, sure enough, Honest Dan Games. So clearly that part of my streams I follow doesn't work all the time. Okay. Wonder why that failed. Let me put that on my fix list to check. Not changing top screen to them. Okay. Alright, just give me a moment. Okay, that's on the fix list. So let's have a look at this code, see what's going on, why it's not behaving. So it detects the food bowl. We got that. It says food collider breached. We saw that. It disables the sphere collider, which is fine because we've already detected the collision. We don't need it anymore.
Anybody want coffee?
Yes, I do. But I'm going to make do with my water for now. Okay, so it disables the collider. That worked. It does the look at, turns the dog around to the bowl. That worked. Set ball is eating to true. It did that. Not eating can move. Set to false because we don't want the dog to move. And then it calls the coroutine stop eating. That coroutine says wait for 5 seconds. And then sets is eating to false after the 5 seconds. At which point the animation will run to put the dog back into the upright position. It'll wait a second for that, and then it'll say not eating can move equals true. We should see the dog go on his merry way. So why does it not? Something is going on to make him go back into his eating cycle again. Show Unity. Ooh, 47.61. Nice landing, Vic. See, so a couple of things happen there. When the collider is first detected, it's pushing him out of the way because it's a non-trigger collider, which is an issue. I wonder if that's causing all of the issues. Maybe we need to come at this a different way. Maybe we need to say we could do a proximity check, but I don't know if that's going to be too resource hungry. Let's try that and see if that's going to cause the same issues that we're seeing with the collider. So we'll disable the collider for now. This is the end of the dog's butt break. Okay, thank you, Buttspot. So what we can do, we can try I think we're using distance 2 at the minute. Distance 2. Vector 3 dot distance. Show code. Instead of what we currently doing with the collider. What we can do is we can have a private float variable up here, which is, let's have distance to bowl, just for testing. Distance to bowl, I'm going to say distance to bowl. This is not going to work, is it? Alright, let me try plan C. I'll get rid of all the distance stuff. What about if we have a script on the bowl? Show Unity. Now we'll just call it something generic like collision detection script. Then we can apply it to things other than a dog bowl. Let's give this a try. Plan C, here we go. Okay, so add component, we're going to call it call detect call detector. Well, let's just use the whole word. Collision detector. There we go. Okay, so we have a script called collision detector. And we're going to have a sphere collider back on the bowl. We're going to have it set as a trigger. And then we're going to, inside the script, we're going to get rid of show code. Going to get rid of all the normal template stuff. Going to have on trigger enter and on collision enter. Going to have a print on collision enter. Up here we're going to have on trigger enter and get rid of the unused libraries. Save that. Show Unity. And I'm going to hit play, and then we're going to see what happens when the dog breaches the food bowl this time. See what messages, if any, we get in the console. Alright, play. Keep an eye on this console down here. Straight away it's throwing the OTE because it's probably colliding with the ground. So at this point I don't expect the dog to do anything when he breaches this collider, because we're handling collisions from the dog bowl script that we just created. So I would expect to see something in the console, but nothing beyond that. So here we go. Okay, so it did detect the trigger, which is perfect. Okay, so show code. Collided with the food bowl. What we need to put in here is other dot. Can we just go straight to name? Yes, other dot name. Yes, collided with the food bowl. Show Unity. Okay, hit play, and this time it should show us in the console which objects collide with the food bowl. So I'm guessing the first one will be the ground. Rottweiler low poly collided with the food bowl. That's interesting. I know why it's doing that. Because it's using the big collider we have set up as a trigger. Let's see what happens when he gets close. Come on, Rotty. Time to eat. There we go. Alright. So what we can do now, so that it doesn't do anything when it detects the larger collider, is we need to then have proximity detection. Alright. Oh, I realise you're still looking at the code, sorry about that. Okay, so it did actually come up and say that he collided with the food bowl in the console. So Rottweiler low poly. We have him currently untagged. So if we tag him, let's add a new tag. I'm going to tag the Rottweiler in Unity as being a dog. Okay, so now in the code we can say if other dot tag equals dog. Well, actually we should be using compare tag, shouldn't we? Compare tag dog and distance to dog but we can't use that yet. We need to find out what distance he needs to be from it. So distance to dog equals vector 3 dot distance. Vector 3 dot distance between.
Good dog.
I'm gonna say not good dog at all. They're going to be going outside in the wet in a minute if this carries on. So the distance between the bowl and whatever collided with it. Dogs are being escorted off the premises. Alright, distance to dog. Going to have up here. Going to declare the variable float distance to dog. And then what we need to do for testing is distance between dog and food bowl is, and it's going to be the distance to dog. So if we cut this out, cut it out, would you? We cut that out and then put it inside this check here. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're saying if it's the dog that, where's my bracket gone? What we're saying is if the dog collides with the bowl, then we want to report the distance between the dog and the bowl in the console, and that should tell us how close the dog needs to be. Let's see if that works. Show Unity. Whee! Go Bot Gamer, you got this. Come on. Not so sure anymore. No, couldn't be further away.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Okay, so now we're going to hit play. We're going to look down here in the console and we're going to see what it says the distance is to the bowl when the dog gets close enough. So 1.5 is a outlier, we don't want that. Clear that. Where are you? Come on. Still haven't breached it. Come on. It's a very slow drop, but it's also a very bad drop. Terrible. Plain old tray. Oh, there we go. All right, so we have a 0.5 and a 0.4, a 0.56 and a 0.46. So let's take a average between those and we'll say 0.5. So if we show code, now we should be able to say distance is less than or equal to 0.5, then trigger eating. Okay, so I'm going to be right back, but we'll focus on that code when I return. detector for now. Okay, so what we need to do now is the trigger is going to be detected from this script. So we need to say distance to dog is the amount. I'm going to say if distance to dog is less than or equal to 0.5 float, then trigger eating. Okay, how are we going to trigger eating? We're going to trigger eating by, where is the cage dog script? Okay, so what we were doing for the detection is we were using a collision, but now we're not going to be using a collision from this script anyway. We're going to be using it from another script, which means we don't need that, we don't need that. Not doing any disabling of colliders. We can do a lookout, we can set all this other stuff and do that. Okay, so all of this needs to go into a public method so that we can call it. Okay, so here we're going to have a public void, what am I going to call it? Let's call it start eating. Put all of that in, and then after that we will call stop eating. Let's declare static on this, because we're going to, no, of course it messes everything up, doesn't it? And also we can't use the, what we're doing here, the lookout. Alright, well, we should be able to take this and put it in the other script. Collision detector. Let's say, already got tweening in here. Do lookout. No, it's not going to work, because this is going to turn the... No wonder. We have... But if we do other dot transform dot do dynamic lookout, let's try that for now. Let's see if we can get the dog to at least just look at the bowl. It's not going to work, is it? Because he's going to walk up to the bowl. He's going to be walking towards the bowl, so he's going to be facing it anyway. So it's going to be very hard to tell if that's going to trigger. Okay. So, trigger eating is cage dog ST Alrighty, I think I'm going to call it a day for today. Managed to find a workable solution to the dog eating out of the bowl. You remember that awesome game? What awesome game was that, Dukesoft? Alright, let me just try something real quick before we raid out. Yeah, script. We have on the player at the moment. It's called Caged Dog, isn't it? Perhaps if you can spell, play a script. Alright, let's give this a quick test. We did call it start eating, yes. Okay. Alright. Come on, Unity, you've got this. Da, 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 da. Alright, and play. One last test to see if that bit of code works. Show Unity. Bear in mind, when you look through the cages from the side, You're not going to see things this clearly.
Bit.ly the kid. $100,000 reward for his capture.
What? Ducasoft? No. How am I supposed to do testing if I can't see anything? Look, the dog was right. Okay. Missed opportunity. Dog didn't do his thing. Now I can't see why, because, you know, I can't see anything. Let me see what this said down here. It says 0.66, which is not less than 0.5, so the code won't capture it. So how about, instead of 0.5, we have 0.7. Let's try that. Okay, so 0.7 might be too far away for the dog to eat. So let's save, and then go back to Unity, and try it again, and see what happens. And we'll find out shortly whether Ducasoft is going to be 100 macaroonies richer, or, as I suspect, Bit.ly the kid will escape again. Pew 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 pew. Okay. What are you doing? Why are you not moving? What's going on? Why are you looking at me? Why? Off you go. Let's see if it works this time. The other Belle, welcome on in. You're just in time for finding out whether Ducasoft has won $100,000 or not.
Oh no, Bit.ly the kid escaped. No reward for you.
And as I suspected, no. You didn't catch me, Ducasoft. Good luck next time. Please do escape. I want to catch you next stream. Oh, okay then. Yes, so you intentionally didn't catch me because you wanted to do it next stream. I get it. Let's see how it is. Okay. So how's your day going, the other Belle? Nice seeing you in here. This is the end of the ad break. Good, because nobody likes pesky ads. Alright, so the good news is it's kind of working. The dog is going into the eating animation, but is also not lining up. So let's see, let him finish and then see what he does. See, it's kind of working. Let's see, let's have him go up to it again, see what happens. Eat, 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 stands up. He's doing it twice and I don't know why. I'm currently stuffing my face with food on my lunch. So hungry today. If you wanted to share with us, the other Belle, and tell us what it is you're having for lunch, you can probably make me hungry too, because I had some cheese and crackers for lunch, so I don't have a particularly full belly right now. So feel free to go ahead and make me even more hangry by telling me what you're eating. Meanwhile, we'll find out why this dog's not eating the way he should be. Okay, so we're going to kick it off again, and we are going to watch the animator, see what happens. Because once we get it where he works properly and eats for 5 seconds, then we can set it to be variable. So he eats for differing amounts of time each time he gets to the food bowl. Nope, still not close enough to trigger it. Come on, boy. You got this. Sesame, ginger, chicken and rice with carrots, scallions. Oh my goodness, I wish I hadn't asked now. That sounds amazing. Oh, now I'm really hungry. Okay, so we went into the eating phase. And then finished the eating phase. And then came back out of the eating phase. My question is, how is he out of the eating phase if it still says is eating here? If we uncheck that. Okay, I think we need to look in the code again and find out where we're setting is eating. Show code. Show code. Dukasoft never fails. Alright, for the pet dog, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Distance between dog and food bowl. If it's less than 0.7, kick off the eating, do the eating stuffs, start eating. So what we could say at this point, so it kicks off this. We only want it to do it once though, right? So it says, okay, the dog is at the bowl. Is the dog close enough to the bowl to eat? Yes. So let's call start eating. So it comes in here and then it says is eating. Yeah, so really we only want to run it if no, not eating can move. It's true. So if we make this a public static bool, not eating can move. Oh, public. Let's try spelling it correctly. Public static bool, not eating can move. It's true. And then sets it to false and start eating. So the only time that we want this to do anything is if the dog is close enough and caged dog not eating can move. That's good enough. So caged dog not eating can move is true. So those two things. Alright, save all the scripts, show Unity. See if he just does the eating one time now. Wrong way, B. Turn around. Go. Ah, too late. You spy animals. Yes, we have the beagle. Unless you mean the ones in the background. Yes, they're not being particularly helpful with the stream today. They seem to like yapping it up at every opportunity. Without me even asking for a dog's chorus. Okay. Hopefully what will be the final test of the dog eating out of the bowl and then going on his merry way. Might need some tweaking, but hopefully he'll just do it once and then move along. Which dog are you seeing? Is it the black and white one? Okay, so travel. How is your Monday going? I'm just wondering if we might see you today. I was about to raid out and then I had a flash of inspiration and we're carrying on a bit longer, so I'm glad you managed to make it today. Been working on trying to get this pesky Rottweiler to drink out of this pesky food bowl, and it's been interesting, shall we say.
There's no point in hiding.
Enjoy your lurk, the other bell, and enjoy that food, which I am very jealous of. Why does he go? Why? Why do you... I don't get it. Why does he go into eating for a second time when he's already standing up? Let me check we've got this animator right. Okay, so... it doesn't have exit time. Only if eating is true will he go this way. This is an automatic transition through to the eating loop. And then this has exit time, so that's correct. He has to finish crouching down before he goes into his eating loop. And then he goes into his eating loop, which is fine. Loopy, 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 loop for 5 seconds that we set. And then he comes out of eating. Oh no, not is idle is false. It's supposed to say is eating. What? That's going to be part of the issue, if not all of it. Okay, let's try it again. Always helps when you specify the correct parameter on your transition line between animations. Going well. Glad to hear it. Hopefully going better than trying to get this dog to eat some food. Why are you doing it again? And like he's still doing it. So his eating is not even true at this point, so why is he... why does he insist on doing that? He's got himself into a loop where he's not... where his eating is false, and this transition line is false, not is true. I really just need more coffee, I think. Come on, Rotty. Show us how to eat out of a bowl this time. You've got this. I got faith in you. See how it looks from the outside of the cage. There he goes, he's eating, he's eating. Just do it the one time though, and then walk away. Okay, go, 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 go. Yes! Finally. Okay. Let's have a look at it from the outside of the cage. See how it looks. Well, now we've got close enough, he's paying attention to us. So we need to walk away. So he carries on with his parading around the cage. Let's see if he's going to eat this time. Ha ha ha! Then he stops, and then he's back. Excellent. Okay, so the only thing we need to change is the distance, because he was too far away, didn't actually look like his mouth was in the bowl. So we'll go back, I think, to the original 0.5 that we had set before we changed it to 0.7. And then hopefully he will be close enough that he will be able to take care of eating business. Let's have Unity recompile. Whee! Come on, Frosty, I've got faith in you. Just land in that pile of snow. That's all you need to do. Here we go. You got this. Come on. There it is. At 46. Alright then. Anyway, back to Unity. I'm sure you all know Balint, don't you, from Science Streams. I'm going to give him a fancy pants shout out. If you're not following him, you should follow him because he has a partner party coming up soon, a 1-year anniversary stream on Saturday, I believe. So if you're not already following him, drop him a follow. He's good people and it's some good content. Alright, now we're going to test this 0.5 and we're going to see how that works. Follow the ants, exactly. The Psy ants. Run over here again and have a look. There he goes. Oh, no, maybe not. Oh, will this be it? There we go. No, wait, what? 0.65. It's like he can't even get close enough to it now. We don't still have the collider on there, do we? Because we took that off. Food bowl. Oh, we do have a collider on there. Do we still need the collider? Are we even using it? Yes, we are, aren't we? But it's set as a trigger, so you should just be able to walk through it. Well, you just walk straight through it, so I don't know why. I don't know why. Because we've got the collider size too large. That'd be why. So when he's breaching the collider and it's checking for the distance, it's saying that he's not close enough, which he isn't. So what about if we make it 0.18? Let's try that. Instead of 0.27. Let's try that. See if that gets him close enough. What did you do on your stream today? Oh, we just kind of sat there and watched this Rottweiler walking around a cage. Sounds riveting. Oh yes, top quality content. Absolutely. Can't get this anywhere else on Twitch. Hopefully. Thing is now, we've sized the collider small enough that it is going to take longer because he's not just going to clip it walking past. He almost has to walk through it. There we go. Managed to pause you. Okay. Okay, so he's not exactly... Do we think that's close enough? Does that look like he's eating out of it? Yeah, I think it kind of does. I think we've kind of got that spot on. Nobody's going to be up this close anyway, to be able to see it this close, but... I think we've got it. I think we've nailed it. Oh good, please bark again. You haven't barked enough this stream. Milo.
Milo, come here.
Just make sure that he does go back and feeds a second time. Come here, big lug. Come here. Why is it you call one dog and two dogs show up? I don't know how that works. Did you break 3PO, Dukesoft? Hold on one cut and pick a minute. Why is C3PO going silent on me? He speaks 6 trillion languages. I don't think silence is one of them. Do 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 do.
I am Darth C3PO, and you have met your match Jedi. Good to your lights.
Yeah, that didn't work at all for some reason. It didn't even create the MP3 file. Let me try it again from here. I mean, we've had Jesse on today, so we know the TTS works. Let's see if 3PO is just having an off moment.
Good Chewie.
Alright, there we go. He's just being a bit particular, in particular, of an evening. Okay, where's our Rotty doing? What's he? Whoa, hello, he's floating again. He's gone into scary mode. What's going on with that? You, young man, causing me problems. Okay? How about you just stop doing that barking? Huh? Does that sound like a good deal? Okay, sounds like a good deal. Unless you want me to end the stream, you need to bark if you want me to end the stream. You have to be louder than that. Last chance. Either bark now when I stop streaming, or you need to keep quiet so I can carry on. Which is it? Okay. Alright. The masses have spoken. Or the Milo has spoken. He wants me to finish streaming, so we're going to see who we can raid out to. Let's have a look. See who's on. And you've been seeing people cycle around who I follow on stream. No, not good dog. Don't encourage him. Who can we go across to today? Why don't we go across to Dragon Spirit Games? I don't believe we've raided Dragon Spirit before. Seems like that would be a good raid target for today. So let's go across to the ending scene. Okay, and as it says on the schedule on the right, I will see you on Wednesday. Now let me go ahead and kick off the raid message right here. It's raiding time. We're about to raid Dragon Spirit Games. You're not wrong. Alright, so Dragon Spirit is a Dutch game developer who is working on a game called Gaia, which is a game about his daughter. He's very interesting. He does game dev, so that's a shoe-in, obviously. His title says that it just says pixel art, so I'm not sure exactly because it looks like he is playing a game today. He's playing Star Trek Fleet Command, so if you're a bit of a Trekkie, a bit of a game dev, who knows what we're going to find over there. But we'll go over and we'll show him some game dev love. Thank you, Travel. Appreciate you being here. Always nice to see you. And if I press this magic button on my Stream Deck, we might even have some raid out text.
Happy New Year!
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too, Dukasoft. Not sure why my raid out text button is not working.